Welcome to Breaking the Chain. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Cody.
And this is like a really cool week. Like, Cody has a lot to talk about. He has a lot of big news. And there's a few spoilers sparkled in between, but I think we can go straight into like this week in Fab.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned it last week. I probably did because we had to change our recording schedule for it. But I played in Phoenix this weekend. There was a Battle Hardened and a PQ Plus. And I did pretty well actually. And I'll go more into detail in that later. But that was my week in Fleshbot. I wasn't able to attend any armories. I've also obviously done some online testing with Talishar, but mostly those two events that I'll dig into a little later. How about you?
So I went to one skirmish and like one armory. The armory ended up being a crack shuffle play armory. I might have talked about this last week. I can't remember when we recorded.
I think you did because I think we recorded late Thursday. No, we recorded early Friday. Did we record? I actually don't remember.
I don't remember either. But like, anyways, I went like 1-1, but I won the crack shuffle play armory because I got another legendary shield, so that's sick.
Nice.
And
it does sound familiar, actually.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't remember if I talked about it. If I did, there's a repeat. If I didn't, cool news. And then I went to a skirmish on Saturday, and it was a blitz skirmish. And blitz actually feels a lot better than I thought it did. Like, I haven't played in a while, but I sit down. Of course, I bring Valda, and
of course.
it was like actually super cool. The games were super fun, and I also like playing Valda in blitz because like I have a better density of good cards, so that's pretty cool. And like, not to go into too much detail, but I did get top 4 in the skirmish with Valda, which was super cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Did you? So what happened in top 4? Did you play a matchup that was a little cursed, or?
No, I played what I thought was actually a good matchup, and I think with how it turned around, because I lost to Nigel on Terra, which I went undefeated in the Swiss rounds.
Nice. What did you play against Swiss?
2 Terra.
Oh no. This Florian. Is the one. Okay, this is the one I heard about. I heard there were 6 or 7 Guardians at that skirmish. And, and the one that took it down was Florian. On like a rune chant stacking Florian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like Florian, I think 2 Terra, and an Azuri. This is who I took down in Swiss.
Yeah, I'm going to make a note because I forgot something that I did this week in Fab. But sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so in the event, the event went like super well and super fun, and like I did really well into like the Terras beforehand, but then I played Nigel on Terra going into the top 4, and his build was like way different. It was like a fatigue oriented Terra, which like it's weird. I played 3 different Terras. One was a pitch stack like combo Terra, like with like all that kind of stuff.
The main one. Yeah.
Then there's like a regular like mid-range Terra, which beat Addison on that one. And then it was like a heavy fatigue with staunch responses, Oasis respites, like all that stuff. And I think we went over it near the end of the game. But at one point, I like totally misplayed. And I think I could have got that game if I didn't make a big mistake. Because I had the defense reaction that blocks 5, and I had 3 seismic surge. And I had... No, that's not what I had. I had the gem. I had the boots. So I pitched my boots to the gem, or my gem to the boots, making the defense reaction cost 1 less. So then I could then play the defense reaction with the gem as well. So I could block 7. But how I did it, I should have blocked with... I think I overblocked the first attack, and then he threw a second attack at me with a E-strike. But like I knew it was coming, but the way I blocked, I should have saved my defense reaction knowing that, or I can't remember the exact details, but I did block kind of funny. because I
So
was
you
like,
got over by just a little bit to kill you.
yeah. So I ended up overblocking, which ended up losing me the game because it went to fatigue.
Yeah.
When I could have just, if I threw hammer, it would have eaten one card from his hand, and he couldn't attack me for enough the turn after.
Thing. Yeah, so it sounds
But
like
it was,
you felt pretty good in the matchup outside of that.
yeah. I mean, the matchup felt pretty good. It's like the staunch response feels crazy though, and I
Yeah.
feel I had one of the coolest plays ever against Addison. So I had a promising terrain out. I had a like 6 seismic surge. I drop my hand. I draw up pummel, uh, put them in their place in a blue, and I had 6 seismic surge. So I'm like, pop my crown, block that, sink the card, draw another blue, and I threw, put them in their place for 18 dominate on hit discard 2 after you discarded. It was so cool.
That's sick, yeah.
It was like the coolest thing I've ever done. Oh no, I had promising drain. I didn't even have to pop the crown. I just drew a card. That's what it was.
I see.
It was so cool.
For the Crown of Seeds is still legal in Blitz, right?
Yes.
So whenever they do that, you get a seismic surge too.
Oh, it
Pretty
feels
nice,
so good. And Nigel didn't activate his Crown of Seeds once.
Oh,
Not
really?
a single time.
Probably for a good reason.
Yeah. No, it's just really interesting. It's also super cool because tectonic instability, where you like sink their arsenal and create a seismic surge. I play that on, and a lot of times like Terra's put defense reactions in the arsenal.
Yeah.
So when I see they've been sitting or think they're sitting on a defense reaction, I go to play that, and they have to activate Crown of Seeds, and I'm still gonna get my seismic surge, but they prevent one instead of just losing their arsenal.
Right.
So that's a pretty cool play. But it like helped me a couple times where I'd play tectonic instability into a big attack because I would eat their defense reaction from their arsenal.
Yeah.
So and then it helped me combo the next turn. It just felt so good. It was so cool.
Sick. So top 4
And
placement that gets you a cerebellum processor if I understand correctly, doesn't it?
Yes. So Luke was there.
What are you about to say? No, don't say it yourself. No. Is it gone?
Is gone.
No. I don't blame you.
Yeah. Yeah, but then he's like, "So, are you looking to keep that?" Like, the art is so beautiful. I'm like, part of me wants to keep it for the art, but I'm like, there's no good reason for me to keep it. I'm like, I'll give it to you. Or, like, he ended up buying it off me, so that was cool. But
if it was anybody else, I'm happy it's Luke. I'll put that out there.
Yeah.
Man, so you got that, and there's like another topic promo, right? The Flying High.
Oh yeah, I did get that.
And then was there like a random playmat? Is that what it was?
The winner got the playmat. I'm pretty.
Winner got the playmat. I thought there was 2 playmats, like a Scurv and.
Oh yeah. There was one like raffled off, and then there was one for the winner.
Yeah, I see. Well, cool. Anything else you want to talk about your week in Flesh and Blood?
Well, I know we were talking beforehand. I've taken a couple day break because I'm just a little salty, but it's not that big of a deal. But I was playing against like a Marionette online, and we played 2 games. And the first game, they threw they dealt 18 damage to me while banishing 2 cards from my hand and a card from my arsenal. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll come back from this. It's whatever. I'm like, at least I have 5 seismic surge. I have a spinal in hand, so I threw the spinal. And then they responded by not needing the go again and throwing a dagger for 1 and turning into a dagger for 16 and killing me. So I was just like, okay, that's a little rough.
How is it a dagger for 16? Is it like,
or maybe not a dagger for
torrential,
or maybe not a
something?
16? I just remember it was like double digits and it killed me, and I was just like, but it was somewhere between 13 and 6.
Was it Tristra? So it was like a stealth attack?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like the Tristra, and I was marked, so it was coming in for 2, and then maybe it wasn't 16. I know it was double digits, but anyways, they just straight up
like
killed
double
me after
Razor's Edge plus some other thing like Tarantula Toxin. I'd get there. I'd get to 11.
Yeah. Well, and they had a card in Arsenal too that they because they played Codex the turn previously, and Arsenaled another attack reaction. So they just cut.
Bless.
They're just like, oh, here's a dagger, 5 attack reactions. I'm like, eh,
That's funny.
oh, well, I'm dead. And then I was like, okay, that just got unlucky, and let's play another round. And we played another round, and they did a very similar thing to me. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down for a couple days. I've been playing too much Talishar. Like, I played a lot of Talishar the last couple weeks. I'm like, I've been playing too much. I need a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'll
dying from an attack from 2 coming in for 12 plus is pretty rough.
Especially after you lose all your go again. I'm like, oh, okay, like they have to have at least 1, maybe 2 attacks in their hand. Like, I'm not just gonna die here.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah, I did forget one thing that I did yesterday actually, and it was really fun. Luke from Anarchy Please put together a Fab Cube, and it was Warrior, Guardian, Ninja, and
Brute.
What was the last one? Assassin.
Oh, okay.
It was meant to be like a group of cards that have dual class cards together, and tried it out. It was 8 of us playing, and it was a lot of fun. That was the first time doing any cube at all. Like, I've never done a Magic cube either, and that was my first time doing a Flesh and Blood cube as well. So my first time doing any cube at all, and it was a lot of fun. I actually had a blast. It was interesting that how a high power level it is. Like, you open your first pack, and there's like a tunic and a shelter from the storm in there, and it's like, oh, this is a very different experience with drafting. But it was a lot of fun. I played Bravo. So basically how it worked was you could pick any young hero you want, any legal young hero in Blitz of that class, of the 4 classes. And so you could, like, I could have picked Bravo, Betsy, Victor. I could have picked the new Bravo if I wanted to. But yeah, so I ended up playing Bravo, and my pack 1 pick 1 was Anathos, and my pack 1 pick 3 was Tectonic Plating, so I felt pretty good.
That's pretty good.
But then I wasn't getting a lot of attacks or 3-cost blues, so I ended up later on drafting Sledge of Anvilheim and playing that instead, and it did pretty good. I basically either fatigued or just like would dominate, get some damage through, and kill with Bravo, and I ended up losing in the finals to Luke on the 1 of Assassin, who had a really good deck. And I should have actually won that game had I just blocked a little bit more. I didn't play around just the Nick on his prognosis.
Oh my goodness.
So I played around a +3. I didn't play around a +5, and so I lost. But I could have just blocked for more, and then I would have been fine. Yeah, that was a blast. I highly recommend cubing if you ever have the opportunity. Was a really cool time, and he said he's already made changes, like improved it, and wants to set up another time. So looking forward to that.
That's cool.
That was something that I totally blanked on. It happened last night. I totally blanked on that. Was part of my week in Flesh and Blood. Busy week for me, I guess.
Yeah, all over the place.
Yeah, but yeah, with that, let's just go into some spoilers. We got 2 really cool spoilers. Which one do you want to talk about? Because I feel a little bit more partial to the second one. If you want to talk about the first one.
Well, I feel more partial to the Hunter Hunt.
All right, let's hear it. I'll pull it up as well. I forgot to set that up already. Yeah, do you want to read out the Hunter Hunted?
Yeah, I can do that. So, Hunter Hunted is a blue 3-cost 4-block defense reaction that says, when this defends, name a card. The attacking hero reveals the top card of their deck. If it's the named card, banish it. Search their hand, deck, and arsenal for 3 cards with that name and banish them. Then they shuffle. It has contract. While this is defending, you are contracted to banish opponent's cards with the chosen name whenever you complete a contract. Create a silver token. This is crazy. Cool. This is like an absolutely crazy card. Like,
yeah.
If you play any real assassin, this card's really bad. But if you, like, the only assassin I've played is the original Arachne. And I actually like little like and one weird part where like in my Flesh and Blood history when I'm like, I've played Bravo for like 3 years straight, maybe I should try another hero for a little bit. I played the original Arachne for like a month straight. And there was like it was actually like super fun and interesting. And so the it's cool because I actually ran like a blue unmovable in the deck because he is just a slow, more defensive fatigue style deck. So this is like a really cool replacement for that like reaction spot that he wants. And he runs a lot more blues and he does all so it actually fits in his cost curve better than the other assassins. I mean I haven't played him recently, so I can't tell you what he's like recently, but it's also contract. And I don't know if you know the original Arachne's ability, but the original
Oh, I didn't realize that part of it actually.
yeah. So the original Arachne's ability, let me pull it up so we can.
I pulled it up too. Whenever you play a card with contract, you may look at the top card of target opponent's deck and you can put it on the bottom. I thought that you had to. My whole original assumption of this card was that you had to play a contract card the previous turn and then know what was on the top of their deck already. Like not bottom it and not get hit. I didn't realize that the D react would trigger itself or trigger the hero ability when you play it, so you just know immediately what it is. That's really cool.
Yeah. It's insane because you go and you play this Arachne trigger on the stack. You look at the top card of their deck. You name the top card of their deck. And then it reveals that card to the opponent. And then you get to banish all those cards.
That's crazy.
In the original Arachne, this pretty much says when you defend with this, banish the top card of their deck and any card in their hand, arsenal, or deck with the same name.
That's wild.
And then it creates 3 silver. Which sometimes against certain decks, like he struggles to create silver and he needs silver to help like recur his equipment and get all these other kind of payoffs that the deck sometimes have. This is an insane card.
That's way better than I thought it was. Also, the fact that it searches the arsenal too is a big deal. I actually had this weekend, I had a moment come up where I got hit with bonds and I had one of the cards he picked in my arsenal. And he's like, oh, you only run 2 of these cards? And I was like, sure. It was just in my arsenal, so he couldn't grab it actually. So that's really cool that that it actually includes the arsenal as well.
Yeah, it is a super cool and super strong card. We'll see. Like, does this make Arachne like tiers better? I don't know.
We'll see.
But does it make him like maybe not F tier and D tier? I could maybe.
I could see it. I could see it.
I could see it. Like I could see him definitely being playable because this allows him to create that silver really without the opponent's input, without them doing some funny business. Like, oh, like in reaction to this, like you can maybe like if you had Crown of Seeds, like like in react, can you layer the trig? I'll have to look deeper into this, but I'm sure there's some funny business you can do. But it is so hard to respond to this, and it allows the original Arachne to do what they want to do.
Yeah, because that's one of the big things with original Arachne is that they really want the silver to buy back their equipment because their equipment can help block breakpoints and can help give them the additional reach they need. I know they used to run Mask of Perdition specifically all the time just to get more, more of the banishing to happen and potentially keep their silver train going, right? Same with Black Tech Whispers. Black Tech Whispers is actually typically the most important one for him since he doesn't have a lot of go again. Of another way to extend. So yeah, just having the extra silver is having the quote unquote 3 guaranteed silver is a really big deal, right?
Yeah, and it's cool because it also is when it defends, it also fatigues the deck. His game plan is to fatigue you, so for him to block with this and steal 3 cards from you is really strong. Yeah. Up to 3 cards. It could only hit a 1 of 1 or something silly like that, but the potential is really big.
Yeah, and that's way better than I thought it was. It is still kind of pricey, right? Because you're spending 2 cards to block 4, and you get the silver and everything, but that's a delayed gratification type of reward, right? unless you manage to hit a card in their hand or arsenal, right? Because that could happen where the top
Then
card
it
of the
goes
deck is like,
say
0 to 60, and then now you grab 0 to 60s out of my hand or arsenal. Like now, then you're getting a lot more value out of it, right? So I think it's a little bit conditional. There's a bit of RNG involved with this, but overall seems pretty strong, and it's exactly what Arachne was really looking for, right? Everything they could ask
cool
for.
to finally get contract support again.
Yeah, that's
instead of more stealth support. So that's really cool.
Anything else on this one before we move on to the hightail, or was it backspin thrust? That's what it's called.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, like the art's really cool too.
Oh yeah, the art on both of these is sick. I really like this one too. So the next other spoiler we got this week is Backspin Thrust. It is a red, 0 cost, 4 power, 3 block Mechanologist action attack. And it says once per turn instant, untap a cog you control. This gets +1 or go again. When I first read this, I was like, oh, tap. This is just the same as that comment, right? You just tap a cog, you get +1 or go again. And then someone corrected me. They're like, no, this is untap a cog to do that. And I was like, what? That's insane. That's so good. And I think it's crazy that people don't agree. People are saying it's a common card. No, this changes a lot for Puffin. It's not exactly the gold that she was looking for, but it's still a very strong card, and it just helps really eke out more value in the deck.
Yeah, like I thought the exact same thing until I saw you make a comment somewhere in the Colorado Discord. Because like everyone's like, it's an okay card, and then I saw you comment somewhere like, this is untap. I'm like, that's untap. I'm like, that's crazy. Because like,
so cool.
You can do like a wide turn into Planeteer because you untap all your cogs through other effects and then just throw Planeteer. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool that you get to do an attack, tap it for go again, and then untap it for go again, and then swing your weapon or something. It just helps you really get the full extra value out of your turn. And it's just like, it's on its base, it's a 0 for 4 block 3. It's hard to argue with that. Yeah, really cool card. I have always been kind of interested in Puffin, but hasn't quite been there yet. Maybe this will be enough to bring me into Puffin. We'll see.
And then
we'll
even as like a finisher, like being a 0 for 5 too.
Yeah.
Like worst case scenario, just untap 0 for 5. Like
exactly. Yeah.
That's
the modality of it is also a big deal.
Yeah. It is cool. And it's again, it feels like a lot of these spoilers are like so handcrafted specifically for like certain interactions of the game or certain heroes. Like neither of these are specializations like the rest of the cards have been. Well, I guess Light of Police isn't. But like,
yeah, like, they're so cool. Like the design of these cards is just very, very intricate. It's not just like, oh, here's just a card that does something. It's like this card works with the other cards in that deck in a very unique way to make some fun interactions. So I thought this was really cool to see. I was gonna bring that up. The fact that there's 2 more non-specialization expansion slot cards unfortunately crushes the dream of us getting a specialization card for every hero. It was kind of already crushed, but it was like semi still potential to be there. But yeah, these are definitely not specialization cards. When I first saw Hunter, is it Hunted or Hunter? Hunter Hunted. I was like, oh, maybe the text box was just too full for them to put specialization on it. And then I saw Backspin Thrust, and I was like, there's plenty of space here if they wanted to make a specialization. And yeah, so I don't think that they're doing that anymore. We'll see how the rest of the expansion slots run out. We'll probably still get some very unique cards for heroes that we were hoping to get specializations for, but the dream of having a real in type card for every hero is a bit dead.
Yeah, it still looks like there could definitely be like support for every hero though. Like even if it's not a specialization, like every hero and or class, like maybe there's a few exceptions, like maybe Gravy Bones since it started off so strong, but
maybe that was something else that Backspin Thrust brought into the mix, is that we got a High Seas hero expansion slot card, so we could get 2 more. We could get a Marlin and Gravy Bones expansion slot card.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, that's really cool. Does that mean Gravy's getting more?
I think Gravy might get his weapon. There's a chance.
I wouldn't know, please, no.
That would mean there's gonna be some heavier bans than just Swell or Tipple, I think, if the weapon comes in. we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Interesting. I would be interested to see what his weapon does because it feels like it could be something super creative.
Mhm.
But outside of that, I was like, there still looks like there's gonna be support for all the like classes, and I'm really hoping that means that like Guardian gets good support, not just regular or like the in-set Guardian. Like Guardian as a class gets good support from this set. So we'll
see, because there's a whole Guardian class set coming out after, or in this set rather.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about this like this expansion slot. I'm worried that this like set itself is going to be Super Slam Guardian, and you can only play the Super Slam cards if you're a super.
I see.
Like very siloed off, and then there's not going to be any Guardian support because there's already Guardian Mastery Pack this year,
Right.
and nothing changes. You know what I mean? But
Right. We'll see.
that's my worries out of the way. But it's super cool. It's like everything's so in depth, and everything has a reason to exist, and that's super cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think these have been really, really good expansion slot spoilers so far. But yeah, let's get into my weekend in Phoenix. So, really fun weekend. I have been on a bit of a hunt for elo points and or a world's invite because I'm kind of close. I've been hovering around the 1800 elo mark, and for reference, the top 75 gets a world's invite, and currently that's at, I think it's 1837 is where that world's invite is. So I'm not too far away, but still need a bit more help, a bit more points to get there. So that's why I've been playing all these tournaments lately. So I went to Phoenix this weekend. I also have the Frontier pass, so I fly basically standby. So it was extremely cheap for me to go out there and do it. Brought Dash.io, as expected. I still feel she's very good right now. Not the best deck right now. I think Gravy still takes that spot, but was the right choice for this tournament because there was a lot of Gravy hate. There were a lot of Gravies and a lot of Slippies, but I'll get into the PQ Plus the next day. It was definitely an interesting top 8. But first, the Battle Hardened was on Saturday. I played. Let me pull up my Flesh and Blood account so I can look back here. There were 7 Swiss rounds into top 8. I played against. Well, I'm trying to remember the heroes I played against getting up there. It was. I know I started off with like 2 Valdas and 2 Verdants, and I won all of those. Yeah, Thank you for the reps because I beat those Valdas, and they were very close games. One of them was running Test of Iron Grip, and I got hit by that twice. That was kind of rough. Thankfully, still got there though. And then the Verdances, I feel very comfortable in the Verdants now. My game plan has very consistently worked. I made that mistake in calling Kansas City against the one Verdants. I was just like burnt out and just making bad plays. But outside of that game, I feel very good in the Verdants matchup. So those I took down. I'm trying to remember what else I played against. I know I played against a Slippy that I lost against in round 6. So I won the first 5 rounds. In round 6, I know I lost to Slippy. And then I think that was the next day. The days are getting kind of mixed up too. I think I might have played against either an Acilio or a or like a Kano or something. But anyway, I lost to Slippy. It was a very close game. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened to make it a little awkward. But there was something unfortunate that happened that made me lose the game a bit. But outside of that, I felt like I played pretty well in Swiss. And then I was 2nd seed in top 8. First seed was actually my teammate Bird Cabrera, who was on Gravy Bones. So it was really cool that we were both undefeated. Actually, none of my teammates played against each other at all. There's 4 of us there playing in the Battle Hardens. None of us queuing to each other in the entire Swiss.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then Bird and I got 1st and 2nd seed without having to play against each other, which is really cool. And then, unfortunately, the top 8, I'll pull it up here again. The top 8 for the Battle Hardened was 2 Gravy Bones, 2 Slippies, a Verdance, an Acilio, my Dio, and a Florian. I'm going to have you guess. I was 2nd seed. I'm going to have you guess what seed that Florian was in. Seventh seed. Seventh seed is what seed it was. So I had to play against Florian round 1 of top 8 of the Battle Hardened. And I was like, oh my god. I mean, maybe I can just like triple Tekla Pounder and get there. And so we sit down. I get to choose to go first. I look at my opening hand, Tekla Pounder. Okay. I play Tekla Pounder, and then I think I Arsenal something pass. He doesn't do anything on his turn. Florian's pretty slow early on until they get the Earth cards in their graveyard. So it doesn't really do anything. My next hand has Spark of Genius. So I Spark into second Tekla Pounder and then pass. He does like basically nothing. I think he throws like a Fruits of the Forest for blue Fruits of the Forest for 5 or something. And then my next hand didn't do anything, so I think I just blocked out. And then the fourth hand had third Tekla Pounder. So I played my third Tekla Pounder and pass. And now I have 3 Tekla Pounders on the board. I've taken like maybe 5 or 10 damage. And then he plays Channel Mount Heroic. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm going to attack you now. I'm going to punish that. You know, I'm going to make it so that if you want to hold cards to attack me with Channel Mount, I'm going to punish you. So I start attacking him. I play like an Expedite for 9. Go again with the Tekla Pounders that he has to block out, or else I get an action point. Things like that. The game's going really well for me. However, there was a turn where I think I had 2 Boom Grenades up, and I had a red Throttle in hand, and he had already blocked that turn. And I see a red card on top of my deck, and I'm running Braces of Belief in that matchup because I'm just like, I don't need to block. He doesn't have on hits. I just need to be able to get through, push through the defenses. Mm-hmm. So I'm running Braces of Belief. See red on top. He has 1 card in hand, 1 card in arsenal, and he has his chess piece still because he hasn't blocked it since he hasn't had Earth cards. I think he only has like 2 or 3 Earth cards in his graveyard, so his boosts are offline. And he has like 1 block on his he's already blocked with his helmet, and he has 1 block on his grasp. So I crack the arms and throw Throttle for 8 go again. And he goes double D react to block it for 8. And like I knew he could block it, but I wanted to have him use the chess piece to have to block it and stop the on hit. So unfortunately, he ended up having double D react to stop it and not have to use any armor there. So that was one unfortunate thing that happened. And then I think the last turn of the game, he had a well-timed D react, and so I got him down to 1 HP, and then I lost. And there's almost certainly somewhere I could have found 1 damage. So it's not like I just like it's not like it was just completely unfortunate. I probably could have had a slightly tighter game to get there, but man, I got so close. Everything went exactly how I wanted to, except for a couple tiny little spots. But yeah, so that was really, really sad to make top 8 like that and then die in the first round. But I got cash, I cashed it, and I got a really cool kunai playmat, the Syndra weapon. So that was really nice. And then I got let's see, I got 0.62 elo for that. Yeah, so that was fun. And then the next day was a PQ plus. And so for those of you that aren't familiar, PQ pluses are a tournament where it is rated, and the first place prize is a gold foil from like a regular PQ gold foil, like common, rare, majestic, and a PTI for first place as well. And then the event organizer also has some tickets, like prize wall tickets, for top 8 as well. So those were all basically the pricing for it. So I bring to you again. I actually changed the list by 1 card, or maybe I changed it for the Battle Hardened too. What I ran was my exact list from Kansas City, but I swapped out 1 Tekla Core for a blue Boom Grenade, just for a higher crank density, really. And so this tournament was pretty similar to the last one. I ended up winning my first 5 rounds. I beat a Slippy in round 2 by doing actually what I mentioned earlier, where he throws a Bonds at me, and my hand it has a Heist and an Outpace in it, and I know all 3 Heists are in the deck. And I have an item on top. So I play the item in response, pitching Heist, and then I let it hit. He takes Outpace, and I have an Outpace in Arsenal. So then he actually can't grab all my Outpaces. I like kind of curated him to target that card so that it would be the least impactful to hit from Bonds. And then I ended up getting there. I had some really fortunate like double Boom Grenade, like large turns that I went for. I had a turn where I had to boost away my last max V, and I hadn't played any max V, so there were none in the graveyard. I had to boost away the last max V to guarantee that I think it was like 2 Boom Grenades hit, and so I had to be very careful about fatigue after that. But it was a really cool game that I got to play there. And then some other notable stuff in the Swiss there. I played against Alexander Vor and Acilio. I took down that game. It felt not very close. I just max speed like 2 or 3 turns in a row and got there. And then I ended up playing. I ended up playing against Bird in the final round. We were both top seeds again. We both went undefeated. Played against, and then we were forced to play against each other in the final round. I didn't play all that well, so then I ended up losing to Bird. But it didn't really matter too much. I made top 8 second seed. This time the top 8 was no Florians, thank God. But it was 3 Kanos, 2 Asilios. Maybe it was 2. It might have been 2 Kanos, 2 Asilios, 2 Slippies, me as Dio, and Bird as Gravy. So it was 1 Gravy Bones and all decks targeting Gravy Bones.
Crazy. It's a lot of Wizard too.
Yeah, there were 3. I think there was actually 4 Kanos at the top tables at the end of Swiss. And so like it was like 1 or 2 of them didn't make top 8, but they were at the top tables. There were a ton of Kano that were doing really well.
Oh, I don't like the resurgence of Kano.
Yeah, he's kind of been coming
as
back.
a Guardian player.
Yeah. That matchup's pretty bad for Gravy, by the way. I don't know if you've heard, but Gravy loses pretty hard to Kano unless they are hard teched for it. So, yeah. Most Gravies aren't teched for it, so the Kanos were doing pretty well.
Because they don't have any Arcane Barrier, do they?
They can run it if they want. Like that's like a big sideboarding decisions for Gravy is how many AB to run. Do they run any Oasis for spites? Stuff like that. Arcane Compliance is an option as well. But then you still have to draw the Oasis or Arcane Compliance too in time. And there's not very much time. But I had a fun game against Kano where it was in the Swiss rounds. I played against Kano. I flip over the Misfire Dampener, which I don't want to see. It's already like a 50-50 match, like a slightly favor for Dio.
What does Misfire Dampener?
Misfire Dampener, and actually I can pull it up for the stream as well.
Is that the one you can only play like 1 action per turn?
No, so this is the arms that came out in Hunted, and it says it's a Blade Break 1, and it says instant destroy this, prevent the next 1 arcane damage that would be dealt to you this turn. If you've boosted this turn, instead prevent the next 2. So if you start your turn with a boost, a boost is an additional cost, so they can't respond to the boost. If you start with a boosted attack action, you now have Spell Void 2 in your arm slot. And you already run the AB1 in your boots and the AB2 in your helmet. So, yeah, having AB3 plus Spell Void 2 is pretty good, it turns out. However, I had a really interesting sequence against this Kano where I cracked the Achilles to push a max V and put him to 1. So I only had AB2. And then on the next turn, I start with a boost attack. I boost away. So now my Misfire Dampener is active. And I look at the top card of my deck, and it's Stasis Cell. Now let me pull up this card for the viewers as well. Stasis Cell is an item that I put in for Slippy. And actually, I put in a second one too. So I was running 2 of these for Slippy. It is a blue 0-cost Mechanologist item that says when this enters or leaves the arena, activated abilities of target equipment can't be activated until the end of its controller's next turn. When it enters or leaves. And then action, you can put this on the bottom of the owner's deck, choose an equipment, it can't defend this turn. So as an action, you can put it on the bottom of your deck, which then re-triggers the first part of when it leaves the arena. You get to choose equipment that can't be activated until the end of the next turn. So I boost, I see this on top. He then activates Kano once or twice. And then he activates Potion of Deja Vu in response to Kano. And I go, hold on. Activate Dash.io, play Stasis Cell. And he responds to Stasis Cell. He looks at the card, he's like, oh my god. Because basically, I get to force him to Striders and Helmet right now. And Chess Piece right now. He has to do it all, or else I get to choose it and he can't activate it. Right? For the rest of the turn.
Yeah. And you're not letting him right before he stacked his deck against
exactly.
you.
So now he has to, with Deja Vu on the stack, activate his Striders and Helmet. So he has to draw a random card off the Helmet and Striders, which is like activating Striders is whatever. Like they can activate it and get around that, right? But having to activate the Helmet without stacking the deck with Potion of Deja Vu is brutal. And so we end up going through like even if he said that even if I didn't activate that, he would have lost. But like this sealed the deal. Like this made it so that even if he drew, like he had to draw way better in order to kill me. So yeah, that was
You had to
fun.
draw like the juice.
He had to draw the nuts.
Like that's Aether Wildfire.
Yeah, because like the first Aether Wildfire, it now comes in for 1 after I AB3 Spell Void to it. So that came in for 1. So now he has to and I'm at 30. So he has to find a way to kill me after that. But yeah, so that was a fun game against Kano. And I'm looking at the top 8. I'm like, this is beautiful, right? It's Kano's. Like, I don't want to see Slippy, but I'm fine. But it's like it's Kano's, it's Acilios, and it's Gravy Bones, and I feel great. So I played my first round. Oh, there was actually a Fang. My bad. It was 2 Kanos and a Fang, and I played Fang first round of top 8, and I do barely get there, but it was actually way closer than I wanted it to be. They had some pretty strong turns, but thankfully I got to delay their third fealty for an extra turn or 2 with my armor and stuff, and get there. My second round of top 8 was actually against a teammate. It was against Liam on Gravy Bones, and I took that one down. And then my third round was against Alexander Vor, who I'd already beat earlier in the day. Now, this game was really, really cool. So I get to choose to go first. I look at my hand. There's a red boom grenade. There's a blue heist and expedite. And the top card of my deck is Null Time Zone. Now, Null Time Zone's pretty good against Acilio. You get to name Gone in a Flash. And now, yeah, they can play it from Arsenal, but when they bounce it back to their hand, they can't play it from hand anymore. So I activate Dio. I play Null Time Zone. I hold priority on the crank. I look at the top card of my deck. It's Cerebellum Processor. I was like, that's interesting. And I cook up a really spicy play in my head. And I even say out loud, I say, because my whole team's watching me, and there's people like watching the game because it's the last game. I say out loud, that's really interesting. I have something really spicy I can do. And so I don't crank the Null Time Zone. I throw Expedite. I boost it with a Cerebellum Processor. So now it's face up that I have a Cerebellum Processor in the Banish Zone. And I'm throwing Expedite for a 3 go again with the on hit. So he blocks 3. And I say, okay. I play Boom Grenade. I don't crank it. I have 0 action points. Move to end. And I have two floating because I pitched the blue to the Null Time Zone. And I have Heist in hand. And he goes, okay, well, I may as well. He literally says out loud, well, I may as well do this then. So he goes, he activates Acilio, and then he plays out Sigil of Brilliance, and then he plays Shock, one of the shocks that costs 1 or something, and he amps it. So it comes in for 3. And so I go, okay, and he has 0 cards in hand now. So I go, okay, AB1. Activate Achilles, get an action point back. Foundry Heart, get 2 resources. Heist boosted. It hits because he doesn't have any cards in hand. I get to put the Cerebellum Processor in play, crank it, Arsenal the top card of the deck. So now I've dealt what? And it hit Boom, but maybe Boom Grenade hit 2. So I dealt 9 damage, have a Cerebellum in play, and Null Time Zone in play, and an Arsenal. And at the cost of my Achilles. So I'm in a commanding position, right? I'm so in the lead. I'm vibing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna win this thing. We're so good. Like, there's nothing that can go wrong here, right? So, spoiler alert, something goes wrong. So he does his turns, and I have this Null Time Zone that's on the board for 3 full of his turns, right? Because it has 2 counters on it. It takes 3 whole turns, 3 of his turns for it to go away. So his Gone in Flash is basically locked out for him. And so he has these middling turns and whatever. I think it's actually the next turn is what happens. I look at my hand, and it's Zipper Hit, Heist, no, Zipper Hit, Throttle, T-Bone, Spark of Genius. And I think my arsenal was just on blank. And so he attacks me, and I crown into a second Spark of Genius. And then what was it? It was something like that. But basically, long story short, I ended up having 2 Spark of Geniuses, and my hand is red. I think I had an Expedite is what it was as another card. So I go Expedite boosted, and then I spark once for Boom Grenade, and then I spark again. Oh, he dereacts from Arsenal on that Expedite too. He does a Sync Below from Arsenal. So okay, he's running Sync Below. Interesting. I spark of Genius for Red Boom Grenade. I draw a Zipper Hit. I Spark of Genius again. I'm looking through my deck and I'm like, should I grab a third Boom Grenade here? Because I think I already had another Boom Grenade out for some reason. I was like, should I grab another Boom Grenade here? Or should I grab this Null Time Zone and name Sink Below? That thought crosses my mind. Also, my hand is 2 red Zipper Hits. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to hit these Boom Grenades. So I grab another Boom Grenade. I draw another card. It's 3rd red Zipper Hit. So my hand is 3 Zipper Hits, no pitch floating. And so I have to go, okay, activate Furnace, pitch a Zipper Hit, mill 2, now I have 2 resources. Zipper Hit boosted for 5 go again. He goes block with 1 armor, Sink Below. I go, uh-oh. Zipper Hit boosted. He goes block with 1 armor, Sink Below. I'm like, oh my god,
man.
He just played all 3 Sink Belows this turn. Cover my Boom Grenade. I get to like grab, I think it's like a yellow 0 to 60 off the top of the deck. And I played that and he's blocks for 3. So now I'm out so many Boom Grenades in my deck. I didn't push any damage that turn. I'm out 2 Spark of Geniuses and my Cerebellum Processor's going away. And then I end up losing the game from there, basically. So I made 2 major mistakes, actually. The first major mistake, the reason why I had 3 Boom Grenades was at the start of my turn, I saw yellow Boom Grenade on top. And so I pitched a red T-Bone to play and crank it because I had Cerebellum. So I was like, okay, I'll just play this. I'll draw blue or something later on. And now I get my crank for the Cerebellum, so I get the draw. I get the guaranteed item. So I pitched that red T-Bone to do that play. And then I didn't grab the Null Time Zone with the second Spark of Genius. So I made 2 really greedy lines that I just didn't have to take and ended up costing me the game. So really sad that I basically had like a winner's tilt happen where I felt like I was in an losing position or just like a guaranteed winning position. So I took risks that I just didn't have to. Like I could just played it safe. But I just played it risky for no reason and ended up losing the game there. So really unfortunate. Thankfully I learned my lesson in this game and not like a more even higher stakes game. Although I will say losing the PTI and a gold foil is pretty rough for a mistake like that. But outside of that, I was really proud of my play that entire weekend. I feel like I made very minimal mistakes. And yeah, I'm potentially going to go to Chicago in 2 weeks. And that's my last opportunity to qualify for Worlds. And we'll see. I haven't decided if I'm going yet or not. But that's the current plan is to potentially go and maybe qualify for Worlds.
Yeah, that's still like an absolutely killer weekend though. Top 8 of Battle Hardened, top 8 of PQ Plus.
Exactly. Like I can't be upset about the results, but I'm more upset that I made the mistake. But it was so cool to like go to this tournament, and my team felt like really good about it, and 2 of us made top 8, first and second seed both days. It was literally both of us the same exact seeds both days, first second. So yeah, it was really neat. And Phoenix was really cool. It was super hot. It was 110 degrees like the entire time we were there. Yeah,
I would have died.
I think it was like 9 p.m. and it was like 105 degrees or something like that. But the city was cool. I thought it was a cool city to be in. I don't think I've been to Phoenix since like I was born. So yeah, fun city.
That's great.
Fun tournament. Shout out to the team. Shout out to Mohan for housing us. It's really cool. And yeah, that was my weekend in Phoenix. I don't think there's anything else, but
I think we might have talked about this like at some point, if it was last week or just like in person or like over a call when we were like not recording. But I was like, man, I feel like Dash is like a really good pick right now.
He is good. You have a bad Slippy matchup is the problem.
That's fair.
I think you're good into everything except for Slippy, and then some of like the extraneous stuff that comes along. There was a Teklo there, by the way. There was a Teklo at the top tables that I thankfully dodged.
Top tables?
Yeah, he was at the top tables, which I was impressed by
wild.
with a lot of gravy and verdance there. But and then there's a Kano that he played against. I got to watch that game where basically the Kano had to pitch stack an insane combo to beat him, because otherwise he had 84 in Oasis. And it was just like, hey, I'm just gonna keep going here until you get 15.
I can't wait for the day the Guardian gets there. No rune.
Yeah. They gave Teklo. Oh, I think I lost you there.
In like 20 years.
There. I lost you there for a minute. What was that?
Yeah. Oh no, I just said I can't wait for the day for Guardian to get their arcane barrier equipment.
I mean, they gave Teklo adaptive dissolvers, so surely it can happen for the Guardians as well, right?
It has to. Please.
Has to.
Please, the defensive class can't defend arcane.
But yeah, what's interesting that actually Alexander Vor won both events. Literally won the Battle Hardened and then won the PQ Plus on Acilio.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so that was interesting. So yeah, won both events back to back. Pretty cool. I'm definitely happy for him. He's a really cool dude.
Yeah,
I played against him a handful of times now. But yeah, cool event. And then we also had the Calling Copenhagen happened this weekend. Another one of my teammates, Martin Hollick, was actually made top 8 of that on Acilio. Had an unfortunate game against Fang to lose out in that matchup, which is a super favorable matchup. Literally just got extremely unlucky. But shout out to him for doing really well there. And do you want to talk about the results from that weekend? I don't honestly remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I haven't seen much, but from the results, there was a Francisco Gigor. How do you spell that?
Probably,
how do you say that?
Giorgio?
Giorgio.
Or Giorgio? Something like that?
I'm illiterate. I'm a card game player. I can't read. But Francisco Giorgio won on Slippy, and Conrad Neva won the Battle Hardened on Marionette.
Assassin Summer.
It is Assassin Summer. Which is like interesting because like assassins haven't really been able to like finish out. Like they've made it into a lot of top 8s, but they haven't been able to finish out. So now we have results that show that they can finish.
Yeah, Slippy's pretty strong, and Marionette can take advantage of Slippy, so makes some sense there. Yeah, but that was a big tournament happening. It was kind of cool that they were both happening both weekends because a little less competition for me in Phoenix. A lot of the really good players were over in Copenhagen. But yeah, so two cool events happening this weekend. And then that's where we got the spoilers, and we have some top 8 changes of worlds to talk about that we got some spicy info on earlier this week. Yeah. So as we already knew, Worlds is Living Legend and Classic Constructed. And I guess there was still some theory that there might have been some Limited involved in there somehow, some way. But regardless, we knew that Living Legend and CC were involved. Now, earlier this week, they let us know that the top 8 has also changed for this Worlds. And in a notoriously best of 1 card game, we are playing best of 3 top 8 in Worlds. Huge change just based on that alone. Crazy. And the reason they did this was so that the players in top 8 would compete with both their CC and Living Legend decks in order to determine a final winner of top 8. I don't know exactly how this was received. I don't think it affects a ton of people, so it's like not a lot of people really had too strong of opinions on it. But personally, I'm not so sure about this as a competitor. I think as a spectator, that is a really cool thing to watch, right? Like to see these players duke it out with their CC and LL decks. But actually, let me go over exactly how this works before we go further.
Yeah, I saw this change. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, question, and they're untimed rounds too. So like usually like untimed rounds last the full like an hour. And considering that there's gonna be at least 2 games in 3 rounds, that's at least 6 games on the finals day. At least. There could be a max of 9 games on the final game for each player.
Yeah, and usually they have each in like a Worlds event like this. They would have each game go consecutively. Like they'd only have 1 game going at a time, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas with Callings and Battle Hardened, usually they're going simultaneously and they just stream one of the matches, right? But I think that they're not going to be able to do that anymore. They're probably going to have to only have like a feature matchup. Yeah, they have to have simultaneous games going, which is interesting. But But yeah, so
One interesting thing that I heard from like the Runaways is like maybe I think it was the Runaways. I don't know. I heard it from somewhere where it's like maybe they have like one person's game on and they have another backup stream. So it's like in the quarterfinals at least you have like 4 games playing and you have 2 games which you can switch around between. Like, oh, they finished this lane. Let's like jump over and catch up on this game. Or like they played 2 aggro decks and just like finished really early. Well, luckily we have the fatigue deck on the side so we could watch their game while we wait for them to finish. So it's like you also have plenty of games and not a lot of downtime, but
it'll be great from a viewer perspective again.
Yeah.
But so how this works, just for those that aren't aware, for game 1, the player with the higher standing in the Swiss portion of the event chooses whether to select the format, CC or LL, or they may defer that choice to their opponent. The player who does not select the format decides whether to play first or second. So basically, there's 2 decisions to be made. There's CC or LL and first or second, and each player gets to make one of those decisions, right? Which is really cool because in the higher seed gets to choose who makes what decision, right? So the higher seed gets to say, okay, I have Dash.io for both my CC and LL deck, and you have Gravy Bones and I don't know, some deck that maybe Dash.io beats. I don't care what you're playing, so I'm going to let you pick the format, and then I get to go first, you know? So they can make that kind of decision as the higher seed. So the seed matters is much more heavily weighted in this format because of that. And then game 2...
They're just sick and tired of 8th seed winning every single Worlds.
I guess so, right? Game 2 is played in the format that was not chosen for game 1. And then the player who did not win game 1 chooses whether to play first or second. So like, let's say I win on Dio in game 1 now, and it was CC. Now it's already LL, and my opponent gets to choose who goes to go first. And then game 3, if necessary, so if I won both games, both game 1 and game 2, we don't even play game 3. But if game 3 is necessary, the player who did not win game 2 chooses the format for game 3, or they may defer the choice to their opponent. And this is the same as game 1, right? Where the loser of game 2 gets to choose who chooses which deck to play. So you could play either CC twice or LL twice in this top 8. And it is up to the players in like the win order to determine how that works, which one's played more. So super interesting. I think I am waiting further instruction from a Colorado judge to hear what happens if you bring a Dash.io deck for both CC and LL. Do you have to have 2 completely separate full Dash.io decks? Like you can't sideboard out the cards in between? I assume you can't, which means you would have to have 2 Techno Foundry Hearts, 2 Crown of Dominion, Crown of Providences, all that kind of stuff. You have to have all these multiple copies. You have to have 2 full copies of the deck effectively, which is kind of interesting as well.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they're going to end up having, like requiring. And it's like it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it kind of sucks that that's a requirement because of the way this format works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Again, these changes are mostly for like they're mostly impact the players, right?
Players. Yeah.
Like it probably wouldn't even impact me unless I qualify, and even then, I might not care. So it only impacts the people that qualify and care. But yeah, it was interesting that that's a unique factor of this one because of it being LL and CC.
Mm-hmm. They're really pushing LL too. Like I did not expect them to make like LL any part of the top 8. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, CC's the top 8, but like, oh sure, there's some LL in there, which will be cool. I'm like really excited to like see all that and see how the LL feels. But it's also like I'm interested to see how the LL format looks right now, because they haven't released any of the skirmish data, like none of it for the LL format, and there's like LL skirmishes.
Yeah, the last we had was the Pro Tour Singapore, or the Singapore Battle Hardened? I think it was a Battle Hardened. That was LL.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So we have some demos from there, but that's it.
Yeah, and it's like there's a skirmish. Well, even just to see like how the meta looks. Like we don't even know like who's been winning the most because they just haven't released that data, which is interesting.
Yeah, Yeah, actually, that reminds me. After the Fab Cube, I borrowed someone's LL Drumeye deck and played against LL Briar, and man, I miss Drumeye.
Yeah.
That was fun to play again. That was really cool. I was probably what I
Yeah,
ended up playing in LL is Dromai, because that was really fun to play again. I missed it.
Yeah, I saw your like listing on the or like looking to get from the listing tab on our Discord.
Yeah, because I don't have any of the new stuff for Dromai. I have everything. I kept everything except for I obviously don't have the loyalties, the loyalty behind the graves, the new boots, and shelters. I guess not obviously in the shelters. I just haven't been playing only Dio, so I just haven't needed shelters, thankfully. But now it's getting to the point where I might need to pick those up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so super interesting change for Worlds. We'll see if it matters for me. But I don't think there was anything else to talk about this week, unless you have anything else you want to cover before we sign off.
Oh, one small thing, like I don't know, like Blitz is a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Like it's a lot more balanced now that a lot of heroes have left. The only hero that like somewhat scares me about Blitz is like Blaze, but I think it's just because wizard stuff and like if you don't have Oasis, they can just combo kill you pretty early on. But even then, like she's not like super dominant. It's like a super healthy meta, and even sitting down and playing it way better than I thought it would be. So I just wanted to mention that. Like it was actually super duper fun. Like I had so much fun over the weekend sitting down playing these games, playing all these heroes, seeing other people play a bunch of like different heroes. It was pretty Guardian heavy. And I don't know, maybe I'm liking Blitz because you know Guardian's actually good in Blitz, but like but I think it's a fun format. A lot more fun than it was when it was Zen and Victor as the only like two heroes you could play.
Right, like Reinar and Icelander and
yeah, Reinar. Yeah. It's balanced now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the impressive part. Is it's actually pretty balanced. You can bring a lot of things to Blitz.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, if there's nothing else, then I will leave the viewers and listeners with a question of how do you feel about the top 8 changes? Are you competing? And if so, do you like it or dislike it? Are you not competing? And are you excited for it or not excited for it in terms of watching it? Let us know in the comments below, either on YouTube or on Spotify. If you aren't already subscribed, give us a subscribe. You'll know when these sporadic videos come out because of my ever-changing schedule. And if you can give us a like, that would help us out a ton. And with that, I'm Cody.
And I'm Jacob.
And thanks for watching and listening.